Hello, I'm Joyce Woodworth. Welcome to the Spirit of Winona. Today I'm standing outside of one of Winona's newest buildings in the new millennium, the Winona Middle School. This beautiful building, located on the east side of Sugarloaf, has not yet seen its first crop of students. In fact, it is still in the throes of preparing itself for their entrance. Today we have an opportunity to visit with Scott Hannon, the current principal. He's going to take us on a tour of the new building. Let's go in and see some of the finishing touches being applied on the week before school starts. We enter the front of the building into a huge, beautifully lit, oval-shaped room, which is known as the Commons area. A door to the immediate right leads to the swimming pool. Next to that is an eye-catching display case, and across from the entrance to the school is the media center with a sky-lit staircase on both sides of the doorway. The lighting in this area is phenomenal. Artificial light reflects the ceiling and natural light pours in from the windows. The view of the bluffs outside the window engulf the school in a sense of security and warmth. Moving from the stairway to the right of the room, we see the cafeteria, and we find Scott Hannon, the principal, who has been working hard to get this school ready for the new millennium. Here with Scott Hannon, who has taken the old Winona Middle School into this new middle school, and you are sort of the principal in transition here, right? We happen to come upon you when you're in transition period.
Right. It's a sense of urgency right now, Joyce. There's a lot of things happening at the old school as far as moving teachers' boxes and all their curriculum materials, and moving some furniture, a limited amount of furniture, but some filing cabinets and computers, a lot of technology things from that school to this school. And obviously it's the finishing things that we need to do here yet, as well as get teachers to a sense where they feel like they're able to start here in a couple of weeks. And it's transition is probably a nice word. Urgency is a good word, but there are some other words I think people are using right now. But we'll be ready. We'll be ready to a point. Good.
Well, I can see someone working back here diligently on the floor. What area is this that we're standing in?
This is the commons area, and this is where the students will eat. They'll also come in the two doors that are here in the morning. Buses will drop them off here, and they'll come into this area. The tables will be set up, and they'll be able to sit here and mingle with their friends in the morning before school starts. And at lunchtime, obviously, we'll have about 40-45 tables set up around here, and the students will be eating here in 3 different shifts. And it's kind of the focal point of the school. Everything kind of revolves around this area, going out to the physical education area, to the media center, the academic houses, or to the administration and music area. So it kind of flows off this semicircle area.
That's an absolutely beautiful area. Can you tell us a little bit about the floor in this? Because it's so unique.
It's a terrazzo floor, and if the camera can catch it over there, maybe from a different angle at a different time, you can see that we have the Mississippi River flowing from the northwest corner down to the southeast corner, actually along the lines of the Mississippi River running along outside Winona here. And we also have in a lighter colored terrazzo the outline of the school district itself, and in big brass letters on the floor are the small communities and the Winona in brass that are in our school district. So they're there. Over in the round area, we have a globe with the continents on it, and over on the north side is the compass rose with the 4 points of the compass. So it's kind of a neat area, and we thought we'd bring some of as much of the outside in. You can see that we have over in the corner a display case with a wildlife exhibit in it.
Mary Tollefson, a 6th grade science teacher at the middle school, is the instigator of the wildlife display case and tells about the purpose of the case.
6 years ago, I went to the Tremple Elementary School, and they have an animal display case approximately this size, and Scott Lee, a teacher over at the elementary school there, kind of encouraged me to try to get something going at our middle school. Looking for a painting that our birds would fit into, kind of more southeastern Minnesota area. We have approximately 35 birds at this point, and we were looking at different backgrounds that these birds would fit into. And we kind of ended up with a woodland area, the marsh area, and then a prairie area.
Karen Klingbeil from Tremple, Wisconsin is the artist who was painting the mural for the display case. She tells us her experience with the wildlife scene.
Goes real fast at the beginning because you're just filling up the space, the sky, all of that. And then pretty soon you got to slow down and start doing little trees. Then pretty soon you got to slow down even more and do individual trees, limbs, and individual grasses. There's going to be cattails in here and some specific prairie ones, mullein and purple loosestrife, just everything that you might see around, so that would look pretty representational of the area. It's not an exact scene of any place, but it has the requirements of what we need to have a background for the birds.
We're just trying to bring part of the Winona outside into the building and just make this a showplace.
Oh, it certainly is beautiful.
It is nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, since we're standing here and you said this is sort of the focal area, the cafeteria for the kids, and so every child during the day will be some time in this room. Is that correct?
That's correct, yep.
And they'll be getting their food from the cafeteria?
Right.
Well, let's move over to the cafeteria and take a closer look at that.
This area, Joyce, is where the students will come in to get their lunch. They'll come in here, they'll make the turn, and they'll have about 4 or 5 different spots where they can get some of their lunch items. They'll be able to get some burgers and fries over here. There'll be a salad bar cart over to the north side, and students will be able to make their own salad. And on the far side of the serving area here is an open window, and students will be able to get things across that window, the a la carte items. Some of the frozen items, ice cream products that they get maybe for an extra dessert.
And your floor is beautiful.
It is
It
very
looks like
nice.
it's the perfect floor for a lot of spills.
That's right. We hope there won't be any spills, but hey, we just think that lunchtime now is going to be a much more enjoyable experience for them.
Great. And I see the electricians are still putting on the finishing touches here.
Yep, that's Dave Bauer from Bauer Electric over there working on some things, and we've got.
Well, let's cross the commons area and see what's across from this.
Okay. We're coming into the media center, Joyce, and as you can see, it's a real busy place. There's a lot of things that look like they have happened already. This place is still coming together, but once we get a couple things accomplished here, it'll come together and boom, it'll happen.
Did you ever dream of what was going to be involved in this project?
It's been fun, but it's hair-raising at times, but I think it's turning out as better than I even dreamed.
Now, is the media center the same as the library?
Yep, and that changed over the past 15 years, going from a library to a media center, because so much of what's happening with kids learning today and gathering information is media-oriented. And that's internet, so many things are on CD-ROM, laser discs, video these days, and it used to be all print media. But it's really a multimedia center and information gathering center.
Well, are you still going to have books?
Oh yeah, we are still going to have books. We will have out here computers that students will be able to do some online researching. There'll be some more computers on the little higher tables over there that students will do some searching in the online card catalogs and in our database for what we have here at the middle school. So there's some dual purpose to a lot of these machines. In the far corner over there, that's the interactive television room, and we've in the past been doing some things with the high school. This has been a real hive for activity in the last couple of weeks.
Well, let's move on. From here,
Okay.
perhaps we can go into the classrooms.
Okay, do that. Sounds like a good idea.
Hey, Scott, now, to get the proper perspective here, we left the media center, which is in the center of the building, and then there's a hallway to the right and a hallway to the left.
Correct.
And we are presently by one of your house systems. Is that correct?
Correct, right. There are 8 houses, and we just came down the hall, we passed one house, and we're by the next house. And we have centered everything around the media center. So down each hallway, as you said, on each floor, first and second floor, there are houses. Each of these houses contain a little over 150 students. Their lockers are right out here in front of their house. Their academic classrooms are right inside. And we just think it'll cut down on movement of the kids during the day and make for, again, a better atmosphere. And we're trying to break a big school into smaller learning communities, and that's what the house system is all about.
Now, this school houses 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students, correct?
Correct.
And which houses are designated for which grade level?
These two houses here are 6th grade. Right upstairs are both the 7th grade houses. And then on the south side of the building on the 2nd floor is the 8th grade.
Okay.
So those are the three places where they're at, and we also have some foreign language and project science and a couple other classrooms that are electives or a little different, unique classes that are in one of the other house areas.
Well, let's go in and take a look at what a house looks like. Well, this looks wonderful. Now, is this an exact duplicate of all the houses in your building?
Yep, they're all the same, and it makes it a lot easier, I think, for the students and our staff. And it's a simple plan, but it's a very nice plan. Each of the classrooms has windows in the back of it, and it's we're trying to create a sense of community for the students that are in this house. There's 8 areas that are here. One of them is the staff planning area, so all the teachers have one area where they can kind of call their home, call their base, and it's also an area where they can do some planning together to meet their students' needs at one point during the day. They all have the same time during the day to meet. But we do have a couple special education rooms for some students that have those needs. We also have, behind us, we have a science area, science classroom, and we have math and social studies, and we also have an area that's actually a large classroom that 2 teachers occupy, and there's a demountable wall that can be opened or closed. And those 2 teachers are the language arts and communications teachers. They will share that large space. And we hope that those 2 teachers work together a lot so they can open that wall up and have all their kids together and can do some interdisciplinary teaching.
Great. And what's going to be in the center area here?
This is the house resource area, and we want to add some more computers to this area here, so students, maybe they're working on a project in language arts, they can come out here and do some work on the computers that are here. And there's also going to be a printer for each of the houses out here, so they can print to that area. And then there'll be some tables out here where kids can come out and they can work on some projects, some hands-on things, and during the class time or before and after school. It'd be a nice place for them to sit down and relax, meet, or work during the school day.
Well, let's take a look at this room.
Sure.
It looks like this one has some finishing touches on it.
Yep, this is a science area. The teacher here is getting a lot of her things together.
Looks like someone got stuck in the door over there.
Well, this particular teacher here likes to have a good time. She's one of our fun people on the staff, and you got to have those. And she likes to do little things like that once in a while to kind of liven it up a little bit and pique kids' interest.
Of course.
Many of the classrooms that we will go in will have a mounted television. And all our classrooms will have a television, but 3 of the 5 will be mounted. The other 2 classrooms will have on a cart, so we have some flexibility. So maybe we want to take a television out here and work with a small group out here. Well, we can't do it if they're all mounted. So we have some flexibility, and we thought this would be nice because we want to run the school bulletin on the inter-school television system. We want to do some things with the local cable television networks to do some things that we can broadcast right into the room or broadcast out of a room. An example here might be that there's an experiment going on that we want all the science classrooms to see. Well, we can bring in, we're planning on having a kind of a mobile video setup that we can bring right to the classroom and do some videoing of that experiment and broadcast out to the other classrooms.
Well, the planning is phenomenal that you had to go through to put the school and all these ideas together.
A lot of meetings, and I'm sure I've forgotten many of them, but it's been a huge task for a lot of people, and I'm just proud and excited to have a big part of that. But there's been so many people that have helped us out in so many areas, and the technology was just one area, but it's a huge area.
Of course. Well, let's go take a look at some of the other classrooms.
Sure.
Well, now this looks like a very typical classroom. Is that correct?
That's correct. This is a very typical, this is a social studies classroom for 6th grade. There are 30 desks in here. We have the wall-mounted television and VCR here. 2 whiteboards, some cupboard space, and eventually we'll bring in a couple filing cabinets for this teacher. These desks can be put face-to-face so that students will have a nice flat work area, or we can put 4 of them together and you almost have a small table in front of them. We're not going to have backpacks in the classroom this year because our lockers are so close right across in front of the house that the kids can bring their backpacks to school with their materials and that, but they'll put them in their locker.
I can see these desks have really evolved since I was a student. I mean, there's no inkwell in this desk.
Well, some of the older people I know have experienced those inkwells.
Yes, I remember them dipping pigtails in the inkwells and
Were those your
splashing them.
pigtails?
Oh, not mine. No. And also the blackboards have evolved to whiteboards.
That's right, whiteboards, and you know, blackboards are kind of the thing of the past, although we have some staff that just love blackboards. But some kids are allergic to the chalk dust, and whiteboards are, these are magnetic, so you can put magnets on them too. And
Does that mean no more scratching fingernails to irritate the teacher?
right.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, let's go check something else
Sure,
out.
sounds good. The Industrial Technology Lab, and all of our students will take industrial technology, they'll take art and family consumer science, and this is one class that they'll take for 12 weeks each year that they're here. So 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, they'll take 12 weeks of this course. They do some light manufacturing in here and learn about what it's like to run a plant and to be in a manufacturing area. They do some technology work here. They do some basic hand tool work and just get some nice hands-on experiences in the industrial technology area. So a couple things that we didn't have in the other industrial tech lab at the old middle school were the pull-down power cables that make it a safer place to walk around. And if we need to plug in anything below it, we don't have cords all over the floors. We also have a nice vacuum system that collect dust and things off the floor and from the machine, so we won't have dust flying all over the building or all over this room. So it'll be a safer place for the kids to be in.
A lot of nice new features in it. And
Right.
I'm sure the kids will love it.
Right. Would you like to see our art room?
Yes, I'd love
Okay,
to.
let's go take a look.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I love the blue with the reddish color
Yeah,
and
we're pleased
the
with the color
colors.
scheme here, and it's really a nice setting. As we go around the corner, we've got the art room there, whether it's clay projects or other art projects, displayed there by the teacher. And as you come up the stairs or come down the stairs, you can see the nice art display there. So.
Spencer's art room?
Yep, this is where Gary will be, and this is our 2D art room, or two-dimensional art room. And a lot of the paintings and drawings and things like that will be done in this area. We have some more sink space here, we have cupboard space, but the sinks are a nice addition. We only had one sink in the old, one of the old art rooms, or each of the old art rooms. And you know, we have a lot of kids that are working with oils, and we're working with watercolors. They need the sinks, and when there's 25, 30 kids in a class, one sink doesn't quite cut it. So this was a nice addition with the adding on of more sinks. And nice floor space. It's a quiet area because we have a cement floor that's painted. We had a wooden floor in the old place. It was very loud, very noisy, and we have these nice wooden benchtop type tables that the kids will be able to work at. And they have a nice view out the window also. I can visualize a lot of drawings of Sugarloaf from this room. So we're really pleased with what's happening here. There's 2 art teachers, and then the very next room is the 3-dimensional art room. We can go over and take a look at that.
I see you're busy working here in your art room, and Scott tells me this is a 3-dimensional room. Tell me what that means.
3-dimensional will be primarily for sculpture, things that are other than flat work. We'll do different things with clay, styrofoam, as you saw those things behind you. Doll work, meaning wood dolls that will suspend things, paper mache, wire construction. We made the dinosaurs in the middle school, the old middle school. So we need a larger storage space with greater heights and spaces that we can get larger things to be set up.
Looks like you have your cabinets almost full already.
The key to this pack-away is to remember where they go and to put like things together, and that's why the cupboard's open, because in fairness, there's lots of boxes that are coming at random, and you can find a box of tempera and you think you got it all packed and you get 2 more boxes. So it's kind of a mental inventory is what really I'm doing here. But
Oh, good idea.
there's about 150 boxes already stuffed in here someplace or another, between this room and the storeroom that you were just into. And Shannon Klein, the other art teacher, and I, we share things, and so we have mixed things we have to separate, and some things we have to composite, put together, and so it's a lot of effort, but it's a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's just going to be tremendous.
Yeah.
I think it is.
What do you see are the biggest differences in this building compared to the last building in regards to your art room?
I think the storage here is very handy and able to be gotten to. The other place had lots of high cupboards and cabinets that you needed a ladder to get there. It's going to certainly be climate controlled. It's going to be much nicer for kids and staff. It's going to be comfortable. The air quality, just airflow, fresh air, and conditioned air, whether it's even heat or even cooling. It's going to be really nice for kids. We're going to have a little more space for them to be spread out. We're going to be 2 at a table instead of 4. I think that's going to be a plus. I'm hoping that's really going to be a plus for kids as well as for staff. So.
Okay. Well, I'd like to come back when you have your ceiling full of artwork.
I have them. I'm really kind of worried here about what can be done. Meaning, I don't know yet. You know, at the other place you could drill, tape, hammer, saw, pound, and mount. Now here I don't think drilling in a fresh wall.
Let's just say we're cutting down on those things.
Yeah. But our display space is going to be greater, so we'll be able to get things out in the school as a community rather than room-based. So I think we're going to have a lot to offer kids.
Great. Well, thanks a lot.
I'd like to show you the Family Consumer Science rooms now, if you'd like to go with me here, and then we'll see the Industrial Tech Modular Lab after that.
Okay, sounds good. These are the new FACS rooms, or Family and Consumer Science rooms, better known to many viewers as the home ec rooms. On one side are the cooking appliances, and on the other side, the sewing equipment.
This is our Industrial Technology Modular Lab, and the construction workers are just putting it back together. We had this lab down at the old middle school, and it's there's 15 different spots here, modules here, and we're really proud of this area because this whole setup was put together and made possible by our local businesses and industries. Each of these modules is sponsored by a local business or industry, and the unique thing here is that we've tried to tie in what the students will learn at each module with the local business, so that not only are they learning a concept or a theory or an idea here, they're also having a better understanding about what's happening with local industry. An example here, we've got Lucas Verity. They sponsored this module. We were able to build it and put it together. And we've got a transportation and mapping module that the students go through. They understand a little bit more about what transportation is all about and how mapping works. And we don't have the computers and the TV and VCRs in the module spaces yet, but they'll be brought over from the old school very shortly. But the students would sit down in this case and they'd go through a videotape, and they'd learn a little bit about what Lucas Verity is like, and they'd learn about what transportation and the mapping module is all about. So there's really a relationship here with the local industry and this concept and our students, and we feel that when students leave here, they know so much more about Winona and what's going on here and what the wonderful things are that are being made in Winona.
Is this an elective for all 3 grade levels?
This is not an elective. All our students will get in here from, I believe, 6th grade.
So this is a required class?
Yep. All the kids in the 6th grade will take this for 12 weeks.
The pool area is on the right from the students' entrance. It leads to a spectator area overlooking a 6-lane pool, which is 12 foot deep below the 2 diving boards. It has a continuous flow gutter system similar to the pool at the YMCA. The deck area is at the top of the pool level, making it easy to get in and out of. It is a beautiful pool area not only for middle school children, but to be shared by the community members as well. From the pool area on the way to the gym, we walk through a beautiful locker room area which contains individual tiled showers. Well, Scott, it looks like we're finally in a room that's totally finished.
This room is pretty much finished. I know there are maybe 1 or 2 little items to be done yet in it, but it is, for the most practical part, finished. This is our smaller gym. We have another gym on the other side of this wall. And this wall was one of the things I think we talked a lot about, whether we should have a solid block wall here, we should have a curtain coming down. And we decided that we would have a block wall here so that if we had, let's say, a community event in here, a craft show or something, that we could lock this area off and be safe and secure, and we could maybe still do some gym things on the other side. The other gym actually being larger, we have it set up so that we could play a full-size high school basketball game. Bleachers that come out that seat about 650 people. So it's a nice place. And there are actually windows in that gym, and those windows face north, so there's never any direct sun coming in to get anybody's glare getting in somebody's eyes.
We've been standing in this most finished room at this point, And I understand that the auditorium might be the least finished room at this point. Is that right?
Well, it's finished to a point with the shell is finished and the lighting is finished and the walls are done, the ceiling's done, and the cloud above it is finished. But what we're doing right now is we're putting in the auditorium seats. So I know that the contractor was here this morning and they were laying out where the seats would go, and the carpet contractor was here and they're laying out some of the carpet.
Across the beautiful well-lit hall from the gyms is a wonderful exercise and weight room with the perfect atmosphere to instill a desire to stay fit. Scott, I want to thank you for having us in to see them putting the finishing touches on this building. This building has come such a long ways from the groundbreaking ceremony. I can't believe it. I'm so very impressed with it. It's so beautiful. What's it been like through the year having this come together?
I can still remember here, it seemed like a short month ago, but it was actually a year ago, standing on the other side of the commons area, and there was just sand out here and no roof on, and looking up at this large crane that was putting in a beam right above us and wondering, is it going to come together? How's it going to look? And golly, is this too small of an area? Of course, without a ceiling on it, it looks small, but it's been a lot of work by a lot of people and a lot of planning, and there's still things going on to be finished up and more planning to go on, but I'm excited and I'm pleased about how it's coming about, and I think that our community is going to love this place once they get a chance to see it, and I think our students and staff are going to really enjoy being here. It's neat.
Great. What do you think are the most unique features that are different from the other school that will make this a better school?
Oh, I just think that, this area behind us is such a unique area for kids to come together and community to come together. I think that's a real focal point of our school. We didn't have that before. I think the efficiency of movement as we've gone through the hallways here, you can see how efficient it is to get from one place to another. I think that's going to lend itself to make it a better and safer school and just a nicer place to be in. And I think the brightness and the larger size of all our rooms is just there's a better feel to it. I'm already getting a feeling of sense of belonging and a sense of comfortableness being here, and I'd never had that in the old school. I spent a lot of years in the old place.
Well, I'd really like to come back and see it all in session with the kids here and with all the finished touches all complete. Would that be possible?
Oh, we'd love to have you back. A couple weeks?
Yes,
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Look forward to having you.
Okay, thank you so much again.
Thanks, Joyce.
Okay, this has been Joyce Woodworth on the Spirit of Winona. Please join us again when we come back at the new middle school and show the school in session. Till then, enjoy the Spirit of Winona. Hello, I'm Joyce Woodworth. Welcome to the Spirit of Winona. 3 years ago, educating Winona Middle School students in a new building was just a dream. On October 14, 1997, the citizens of Winona voted unanimously to build a new building. The building was completed in August of 2000, and the first school year of its operation is just about complete. Over the past few weeks, we have seen the old Winona Middle School in session, and we've seen the new middle school before its occupancy. Today we have the opportunity to see the new school in session. Let's go in and talk with some of the students and teachers and find out how it's working out. You were at the school last year, right?
Yeah.
How do you like this school?
It has more room in here, and the classrooms are bigger, and there's a lot more stuff that you can do here. The gyms are bigger.
And how do you like this school?
It's a lot better than the ones in England, because the one in England was sort of falling apart, and this one's completely brand new and nice.
Great. What's the most significant thing about this building that you like?
It's nice and airy. It hasn't got cramped corridors.
And how about your classes? How do your classes compare to the ones in England?
They're not as big. You can learn more stuff in them.
How about the teachers? How do they compare?
They're nicer.
I do like the house system, and the media center is very nice, and the building there's lots of room. I like the building a lot.
Okay. What do you want to
I
say?
like how the classes are set up because you don't have to walk around the building. Oh, I like the big gyms and all the classes.
You like the big gyms? What do you like doing in them?
I play basketball, football.
Okay. What do you like about the school?
I like the house system.
What do you like about it?
It's all separated so we don't have to walk so far. It's bigger. It's better because it has air conditioning. You can actually walk up the steps and you won't be able to fall. And stuff's like not falling down all the time.
There's no like gum spots on the sidewalks, and it's like much better. And we have air conditioning this year.
It's a lot bigger.
Sarah, were you at the old middle school?
Yes, I was.
Well, tell me how you like the new middle school.
I like this one a lot better because it's bigger and it's more comfortable to be in, like in the summer, so it makes learning a lot easier. And also, fights have been lowered down a lot than what they did last year, probably because you're more comfortable at this school, and also it's hard to get somewhere where you can get into fights, so it feels safer.
I like it better because I feel more safe. I'm not as afraid of having stuff falling on top of me.
It's a good environment to be in. It's comfortable. It's much more open than the other one.
How's the lunch situation?
It's more organized.
The lunches, other than the crusts.
They're better because now they serve a lot of pizza and pretty much every day, and that's pretty much all I eat.
Speaking with Janice Brown, who is the head cook here at the new Winona Middle School. Janice, tell me what it's been like making the transition from the old middle school.
Well, to begin with, it was very hectic because we had to deal with the kids coming in a different direction, changing everything around, adding a whole new lunch line. Plus, we had all new students. It was a new building for all grades instead of just one. I think we're all getting used to it now. Yeah, we can do a lot more things. We're doing a lot more parties. We're doing a lot more menu changes. We can prepare a lot of new items that we couldn't before. And I think the kids like it. And run pizza. The kids like pizza. We run pizza 2-3 times a week. We run their favorites. The burritos, the corn dogs, whatever they ask for.
Tell me what this section is for over here.
Well, this here section here is the grill line. We call it the grill line. There's always French fries. That's a favorite of the students. Every day they can have French fries. And then they have a hamburger or a hot dog. The back part over here is a snack bar. They can come there and buy items for cash if they don't have any money in their accounts, or they just want ice cream or snack food. These are two different lunch lines here. So there's two different menus. Today we have the pepperoni pizza, the full lunch meal. And here we have a hot dog and always buttered noodles and a whole dip dinner. This is a salad bar. Today we're featuring a taco salad. Every day we have something different. On Monday, baked potato. Wednesday, soup and salad. We like to have the meals kind of the same. At this age, the kids like to know what they're having.
Tell me what some of your favorites are.
Pizza and chicken patty.
So what grade are you in?
6th.
Okay, and what do you like the most about the school?
The people, the friends.
Now, Scott, you've taken us through the old middle school building, and you've taken us through this beautiful building before the students came.
Right.
And now the students are here. There's a lot of commotion going on. Tell me what's going on in this school, and how do the kids like it? How do you like it? How's everything working out?
Well, I think it's exceeded our expectations. You know, we spent a lot of time planning this and going over it and making changes, and I think it's worked out just great. The commotion in the background is our kids eating at one of our lunch waves. There's adequate room. It's a time for them to talk to their friends and socially interact, and I think it's gone extremely well. The pool and the gyms have all been wonderful. The house areas, we've cut down on a lot of movement of students so that we have less difficulties or less problems in our halls. It's just a wonderful place. There's a nice, comfortable feeling here, I think, that everybody has once they walk in the door. When the commons area isn't filled with kids for lunch, it's a very quiet school, and it swallows up the kids here. You hardly know anybody's here, so it's it's been great. It's a great start, and we're happy to be here. And it's, like I said, it's exceeded all our expectations, which has been wonderful.
Sounds like everyone's enjoying the school tremendously.
Right, and you know, we don't encourage them certainly to yell, but we encourage them to socially interact here. Once they're back in the house area, that's a different time. That's for learning and for getting along in a little different way. So this is okay.
Okay. Well, now I'm very curious to see how the house situation is.
On our way to explore the house concept, which is used for all 3 middle school grades, we pass through the halls which have come alive with students and the students' work. The display cases now show wonderful works of art. Their colorful masks and their sculptures shown off in beautifully lit display cases which are strategically placed in front of each house. At the end of the hall, we pass a window with one of Winona's most significant views, and we pass one of the square blocks that are sprinkled throughout the school which highlight one of the landmarks of our city. A house consists of a large central room with 7 smaller rooms surrounding it. Margaret Keeney, the 8th grade English teacher in House 8 West, tells how the house system works.
Well, a typical student has 6 classes, what we call in-house. And we have what we've come to call blue days and white days. So on the blue day, they will have 2 classes in the morning, lunchtime, they all have lunch at the same time, and a 3rd class. And then at 1:30, the end of that 3rd class, they go outside of the house, literally they go outside this area, and they go to 2 other classes, PE, music, health, foreign language.
In-house, the students have math, social studies, language arts, communications, and science. Let's take a look at what is going on in several of these classes.
Mrs. Klaus, can you tell me what's going on here in your science grade?
What they're doing is that they're describing through and also trying out to demonstrate how the differences between a young river, a mature river, and an old river, and where the river has its deposition and erosion taking place, and also the floodplain. And then they're linking this back to the Mississippi River.
Trying to learn what would happen with the erosion of water flowing through rivers on the banks and what the river will carry as it goes through.
And what have you found out?
That most of the erosion would take place at the curve, so we're a bend at the river.
This is Eileen Dallin, who is the teacher of communications, is that correct?
Yes, 8th grade communication class. It's a new curriculum. We're working on communication skills with reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And this broadcasting unit, we're doing this as a grant that we received from the foundation. And we thought it would incorporate all of the communication skills. The students are writing scripts, they'll be reading, they're speaking to each other, brainstorming, and they're using all communication skills together. And this class is doing looking ahead.
Okay.
So to their future, and looking out at the high school and what they'll be doing out there.
We're talking about the future and what it's going to be like for us in the future. Like, how are we going to get along with the students?
What we're going to be doing in the future, goals we want to fulfill, and dreams we have.
What's going on in your classroom today?
Well, today they're reading the Diary of Anne Frank, and we read the Pulitzer Prize-winning play. And this is the scene, this is a wonderful scene, that's the end of Act 1, and the family is celebrating Hanukkah. And so we get a menorah and the tablecloth and try to make it a festive occasion, but at the same time, of course, they represent the fact that there are these few who are fighting against the terror of the Nazis. And of course, the history of Hanukkah is really the survival of a few against the many who wanted them to change their faith. So the students know that, and so they read it with that whole historic background. And this is a particularly wonderful scene because they each have a role, and Anne gives gifts to everyone despite everything that's being taken away from the family.
And how's this house system working out for you?
Well, someone said to me the other day, well, another day in the palace. I can't tell you, in all my years of teaching, both at the middle school and earlier at the high school, this has been the best year. It's been wonderful. Every day we meet together and we're able to talk about the same students that we have, what's working for them, what's not working. Have you noticed so-and-so? Yes. What can we do? Let's do this. we're so unified, and I think the students, the behavior is just exemplary.
Did you teach last year at the old building?
Yes, I did.
Tell me, are you finding a significant difference in this new building?
Absolutely. It's cleaner. You can come in here. You don't have dust flying all over the place. We've got more room to work. The students appreciate the new building. We've got access to the outside. We can do outside lab work. Really fantastic. I can't say enough about it. And the other thing I want to mention is that I'm in a house system now with 8th grade, and we all work together, and that's tremendous too. Really is fantastic.
We love the new system, especially 8th grade teachers, because we were not involved with houses at the old school. Here we have a group of teachers that we work with. We meet daily in order to talk about scheduling and students' needs, and it gives us a nice opportunity to make a huge school seem like a small school.
The new house system is really nice because we are adjusted to what class we're going to be in, like the high school, about the same amount of time. And it's really nice how we can go right across, like math's right over there, or social studies is right over there. And in the old middle school, how we have to walk. It's a really nice new middle school.
I like it because all the classes are closer together. Before we had to walk, like, go down 3 sets of stairs, go back up 3 sets of stairs. Now it's just you walk right outside and you're right there.
I like it because you're always with the same group of kids, you know, but the only drawback to that is you don't get to see your other friends from the other houses because your schedules, you're always separated.
The wider hallways, like we're not all squished together and the grades are more separated and it's a lot safer too.
I like the new classroom schedules, like what the high school does, 1.5-hour long classes.
I think that we're learning more as a group because there's more class, or like there's like an extra communications class. And
I just like how the security, because the teachers can see through the windows. The fights and stuff, they can stop them faster.
Back in our old school, like in the small gym, this tile on the ceiling kept falling. That wasn't a good thing. But since we got our new school and I don't know, the small gym is like bigger and like everything is just better than the old one.
When the students are out of the house, we meet together. All the teachers meet together. All 6 of us meet together. The counselors might come and sit in on that. Media specialist might come in and sit on that. Dr. Hannon might visit us with a concern. And we talk about kids.
So each kid really gets a lot of individual attention in this house system. This is Rod Schwartz.
Right.
Right? What goes on here, Rod?
Well, a little bit of everything. We get to meet for about 1/2 hour and talk about kids, any problems that might crop up or any kids that deserve a pat on the back. We go over them in the meeting.
There is planning that goes on. That's a good way to share with everybody as to what's going on in your classroom and help each other reinforce what's being done.
Well, can I just ask you all as a group or maybe individually, what is the biggest advantage that you find in this new building compared to your old teaching spot at the old middle school?
Probably feel more control. We see the kids in a closer area here instead of them being all throughout the whole building, and it's much nicer, much nicer. And again, it is a cleaner facility.
I think it's the movement of the kids. You know, they're all here in a house area. They don't have to go from the basement to the 3rd floor. And the hallways are wide open. There's much more room. I mean, I don't think the discipline problems that we had last year exist this year. And I think that's because of the way the building was designed.
Okay, Rod?
Just the general attitude of the kids, too. I think they respect the building a little bit more because it is new and it's nicer. And you always have
7th and 8th graders don't mix. I think that's one thing. So there's less bullying that goes on.
There aren't as many hidden spots and corners and little nooks and crannies.
Right, you have room to walk in the hallways.
It's well lit. With the house system, it makes a large school seem very small.
So it kind of sounds like the environment really enhances education for students. The music department at the new middle school is second to none. Lyle Letourneau, who teaches music theory, tells us about the facility. So you have the technology room, you have the orchestra room, you have a choir room. Tell me the other rooms that you have.
The other rooms, the choir room is just to our other side, and beyond that, the band room, which is gorgeous. Definitely. band is the strongest, most numerous participation here at middle school.
Okay. Then, of course, you have the fabulous auditorium.
The new auditorium has an orchestra pit, and the first student production in the new building is Follow That Rabbit.
And then I notice you have little tiny rooms off to the side too. What are those for?
Yes, the smaller rooms are combination office and lesson rooms that each of the band directors, orchestra directors have their own room, and then there are 2 Wenger soundproof rooms, so that for the most part, when a performer like on a drum goes and starts banging away, you can't hear them.
Well, of course, now I have to ask you this question, but of course it's almost kind of a silly question. How does this compare to the old middle school as far as the music department?
Oh, it's like going from the ghetto to a palace, and I mean that totally. This is just a wonderful, gorgeous facility.
Great. And how do the students feel about it? Do you think it enhances their learning experience when it comes to music?
Yes, the whole attitude when you come into this facility is such that it's so upbeat, whether you're a kid or an adult. Your pleasure, comfort level, eagerness to work is far superior to going into, as I coined it, the dungeon, old World War I, junior high, middle school.
The auditorium and the pool were both voted on separately during the 1997 referendum, and the city can be very proud of these additions. Not only are middle school students enjoying and benefiting from the state-of-art facilities, but the community can use them as well.
Now this, I know, is an outstanding, beautiful building and lots of space. Tell me, what kinds of things has this school offered to the community so the community can take part in the building?
Wow. Already, of course, we hardly open, and on Sunday mornings we're having several church services for Pleasant Valley Church. They're using it, our auditorium, and a couple of our classrooms while their church is being remodeled and enlarged. We have community swim here on Monday nights through the Park Recreation. We're doing a lot of practices for the high school students, dance line and baseball, and some intramural things for them. We're going to be hosting the Dairy Princess Banquet here in another month, I believe. We have church groups bringing kids here to use the gyms, to use the pool on Sundays and Saturdays. We've had planning meetings for community. We had the Life Underwriters group meet here once or twice. So there's a lot of people that are finding, and community groups that are finding this a nice place to have a meeting. Even today in our media center, the Technical College is hosting a technology fair, and they're doing some training, some teaching, workshop work with teachers from around southeastern Minnesota, but it's through the Technical College, but they're using our facility.
The Media Center is spacious enough to accommodate outside groups in one section, while students use a matching room on the other side. A cozy reading section is found near the books, which still give the large area a library feeling.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Allison Eddy.
Hi, Allison. Tell me about what you're doing right now.
Well, we get different assignments that we go on the computer, and we have to accomplish them in a certain time and follow basic instructions and learn computer skills.
Okay. Now, did you work on projects like this at the old middle school?
Nope, I don't think so. We have a lot of new technology here.
Oh, great. Well, tell me, you did go to the old middle school, correct? Yep. Tell me what it was like and how you like this school, or if you like the other one better. Tell me about your feelings about the two schools.
Well, this is a much better learning environment, that's for sure. And it kind of makes you want to go to school more and learn. And it's just a happier environment, I think. And
there are 2 gymnasiums in the school. Both are state-of-the-art with special soundproof walls. The larger of the 2 is large enough to accommodate 2 volleyball games at once.
This is Shannon Klein, who's an art teacher at the new middle school. Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
Welcome to the Spirit of Winona.
Thank you.
Shannon, tell me, you were at the old middle school, correct?
That's right.
And tell me what the difference is between that building and this building as far as your art needs.
Oh, it's like a night and day difference. We were on the 3rd floor in the old building, and it was very hot. The windows didn't open, so about this time of year, we were really warm, and we didn't have nearly as much room, so packing 30 kids in a room with windows that don't open, it gets really, really warm up there, and we didn't have a space for a lot of the things that we do here. We had 4, 5, 6 people at a table, and here we have 2 at a table, and it makes class much easier to get around to all the students that way. They're more comfortable asking questions because there's not a large group around them.
Super. What are they working on today?
They're working on color mixing, the primary colors, what starts those, and then what they mix together to make the next colors when they overlap on their shapes.
And what are you doing here?
We're making some placemats for, I think it's in the spring program. We're doing an art project with working with primary colors, and when you mix them, what colors they make.
How do you like the school?
It's nice. I like it a lot.
What do you like about it?
It's clean. There's no gum under your chairs or desks that you find. It's new, so.
Okay, how do you like your classroom here?
Yeah, I like it. It's very nice.
Okay. This is Gary Spencer, who teaches art at the new middle school, and we have talked with you, Gary, at the old school and then the new school before it's in session, and now you've got the kids and you've got all your equipment. So tell me how it's going in this new building.
It's environmentally very, very pleasant to be here. We have great lighting, we have good storage, we have an access to a much nicer environment in terms of location. It's much more safe for kids. We've got a better bus pickup, transfer, auditorium. It has just stepped up in every direction.
See, what are you working on right now?
Like shading and perspective, kind of the way you look at things.
Do you like art?
Kind of.
Did you take art in the old building?
Yeah.
Well, tell me how this new school compares to the old building as far as your art room.
I think it's definitely bigger. So there's more space for like elbow room and stuff to work. And I just think it's just a lot overall nicer.
It's a lot bigger and you have more space to do things.
And if you had to list the top 3 things that are the most improved conditions, what would they be?
Well, I think one would be just the aesthetics, just the niceness about the building. And I think anybody that walks in it can feel that right away. There's that feeling. Now, when you walked in the old middle school, you didn't have that feeling. It just wasn't conducive to learning. You didn't have a good feeling about it. So I think that's number 1. I think 2 is just the size of rooms and the adequacy that we have things for students. Bigger classrooms, a little more open setting in that house area, better facility-wise as far as gyms and pool, the fitness room, media center certainly that's centrally located. So those are probably the top 2. And I think 3, just the overall flow and the plan of the building lends itself to a great place. So those are probably my top 3 things. People feel good about being here. They're going to be better at their teaching positions. If students feel better about being here, they're going to be better learners. So we think we're accomplishing those things.
This has been Joyce Woodworth at the new Winona Middle School. Please join me again next week. Till then, enjoy the Spirit of Winona.